Hello. Happy New Year, Internet. So I wanted to give a final update for my pilot writing challenge. So it's the end of my 60 days. I haven't used all 60 days, actually, since the last update. I got some feedback from a couple people, took their notes to heart, digested them, and then put together this third draft, a final draft. I don't know if it's ever really final, but take a look. This is my pilot for Legion of Misfits. All 57 pages. And I retimed it. I changed a few circumstances. It's still about 42 minutes, a little under that. It might be over because there's still original music that I haven't written yet. But the legwork is done. So if you don't know, this has been kind of my challenge to write a pilot in 60 days time. To have at least, my original goal was to have at least a second draft done, and then I made a new goal trying to have it all pitch ready by the end of the year. I'm not quite pitch ready. I still need to put that packet together and figure out exactly what the arc of a first season of this show might be, maybe a second season. But the pilot is feeling a lot more solid now, and it takes place. The pilot, by the way, is called Legion of Misfits, and it takes place in a Marvel Cinematic type universe, but the superheroes and supervillains all have powers that don't seem to be very useful. So that's where the comedy comes in. So I wrote it like it was a drama, and then I find opportunities to put jokes in or insert humor. Some of it physical, some of it verbal, whatever the case may be. But it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot from doing it. I'd love to write another episode, maybe, of this series, maybe even work on another pilot. But my goal for 2018, one of many, will be to pitch this to networks and see if anything comes of it. If nothing does, I'm proud of it. I'm glad I did. I made it. Maybe I'll do something with it at some point. But I'll probably have a few steps before then. I definitely want to do a table read of this to make sure it really is working the way I think it is. Maybe make some tweaks from there. But yeah, nobody does this by themselves. That's why it was good to have some feedback. I changed a few circumstances from the last draft. So the Legion of Misfits is the name of kind of an Avengers type Legion of superheroes, and then there's a group of villains who in my first drafts established themselves. Their home base was like a bar, this shitty dive bar, and then they kind of build up their status. But now I have it set in another kind of seemingly unimpressive setting, a UPS store type of venue, a shipping store, retail place, where they sell shipping supplies, and there's sort of like illegal shipping activity that goes on, and so they blackmail the owner. That's kind of the premise of it, how they establish their home turf, and then kind of telling that's the overarching story, and then the main story I focus on in this one is two people who are roommates who have superpowers. One of them ends up joining the Legion, the other ends up joining the villains. The boss calls himself the Twister because he is able to manipulate people's emotions by lowering their confidence. That's his power. He's basically the patriarchy. So, speaking of which, 2017 has been a hellstorm of a year, politically speaking, but creatively it's been one of my most productive years. I recorded and produced and mixed 4 albums worth of content of stuff I've written over the last several years, and put together 2 live sketch reviews. I'm going to be working on a new one in 2018, and I'm looking forward to that. We'll see what happens politically, but I thank you all for watching, if you have, and supporting me this year, if you have, and if you're just coming across my work now, welcome to this. And definitely marketing my work is something I hope to improve on in 2018 as well. So we'll see how that all goes. But I'd like to wish you a happy new year, and fuck 2017. Let's go kick 2018's ass. Now it's cold out.